Everything you want comes from making the best videos possible.
The first thing you want to do is figure out, what is your differentiation? How are you different in the market? And there's one question that you want to be able to answer very, 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 very clearly, and it will predict whether or not your business is going to succeed. That question is, what problem do you solve? That's it. So if I said, Sean, what is the number one problem that you solve out there in the world? And you have a clear answer to that, and people are willing to pay for that solution, your business is going to succeed. Because the only reason people part with their dollars, pull out their wallet and pull out their credit cards is to solve a problem. And if you don't know what problem you solve, you don't know what you're actually asking people to pay for. If you're a real estate agent, you solve the desire to be in a dream home, but you're not sure how to do it or whether you can afford it. You solve that problem for people. Once you understand what problem you actually solve, and you've sort of A/B tested that in the market and people are responding to that, once you figure out what problem you solve, what happens is then you can begin to create the first product, the second product, and the third product that helps people solve that problem. If you can own a problem that people have, you're going to succeed. And it's also a great differentiator because you say, well, Don, these 5 competitors, they all solve the same problem I do. And my first question to you is, I'm glad they all solve the same problem. Are they saying it? Because if they're not saying it, it's blue ocean. Because in the perception of the masses, they may solve that problem, but if you come in and you say, if you have this problem, come to me, you're going to own it, and you're going to put all 5 of them out of business.
Your first video is not going to get views, period. It's not. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that.
The goal of the winner is to commit to the activities. The goal of the loser is to commit to the goal. If you want to be a millionaire, you're not going to focus on making the $1 million. You're going to focus on the stuff that makes $1 million. When you can divorce the activities from the outcome, then you can focus on the doing, which whether your income does this over that period of time, your self-esteem remains the same because you're committing to what you can control.
Your title and thumbnail set expectations. And at the very beginning of the video, to minimize drop-off, you want to assure them that those expectations are being met. If you click on a video where, of his, where it's like, Tether is a scam, and then at the very beginning, he starts talking about literally anything else, then you are like, oh, this is bull. This isn't what I clicked on. But if at the very start of the video, you go, Tether is a scam, and I'm going to teach you why, then it's like, okay, you match the expectations. So at the very beginning, match the expectations, and then you want to exceed them. So you want to assure people that what they clicked on is what they're getting, and then blow their mind and be like, but you're also getting even more. That's how you lower drop off. It needs to be extreme. It needs to be like how to go viral. That's not going to cause someone to go, damn, if I don't click that, I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night. You need something that legit will have people be like, what the did he say in that video? What the I need to know.
I have a channel and it's like a little secret side project, and I was modeling one of my competitors' best videos. I wrote a better title. Their video had like 1 million views. Mine had like 7 million views. So in that case, writing a better title got me 6 million views more than my competitor. So, it can be huge. It can be, going from 200 views to 1,000 views, or it can be going from 1 million views to 7 million views.
This water, right? You're like, Fiji water sucks. Yeah, that would do fine. But if you said Fiji water, it's the worst water I've ever drank in my life. Yeah. Way more extreme opinion would do way better.
How do I add value to people that I'm comfortable I can add value to? Amy Porterfield has a concept she calls the 10% edge. Who is the audience that you're 10% ahead of that you can illuminate the path for? You can be a guide rather than a guru. So I was being a guide for medical students, helping them get into med school. And then they got into med school and people started asking me for advice on how to study for exams. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I read a few papers, I studied psychology as part of my medical degree, and I started sharing the Gary Vee model of document, don't create. I was documenting the stuff that I was doing to study for my own exams. So again, I don't need to be a guru here. I'm just literally like, hey, here's how I take notes. Here's how I study for this exam. Here's what I discovered about how to build a study timetable.
By studying the algorithm, you'll learn that you're more studying human psychology, right? What do humans want to watch? Anytime you say the word algorithm, just replace it with audience, and it works perfectly. Like, the algorithm didn't like that video? No, the audience didn't like that video. Literally, that's it. If people are clicking and watching, then it gets promoted more. And that's literally all the algorithm does, is reflect what the people want. To a T.
Bill Clinton is debating George Bush Sr. and somebody in the audience says, hey, President Bush, how does the debt affect your family? How are you personally affected by it? And he says, you don't think I'm affected by it? You don't think just because I'm a president I'm not affected by it? And then Bill Clinton comes and says, tell me about your life. Tell me about your work going through. Let me tell you about the story what we did in the state of Arkansas. I remember one time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to vote this. Doesn't mean he's a better president. Doesn't mean he's smarter than George Bush Sr. It just means he's better at telling stories. And in that situation, he won that debate because he told a story. So many times we can win and we can persuade and we can get our point across if we simply tell a story.
All you need to do is make 100 videos and improve something every time. Do that. And then on your 101st video, we'll start talking, like maybe you can get some views, but you know, your first 100 are gonna suck. There are very freak cases like Liza Koshy or Emma Chamberlain who have really good personalities and it doesn't take them as many videos. And it's just like people who are 7'5" and making the NBA. Like, yes, there are freak cases you can find, but for the average person like us, you know, who don't have these exceptional personalities and, you know, backgrounds in filmmaking, just make 100 videos, improve something each time, and then talk to me on your 101st video.
I started making podcasts 6 years ago. I committed to that process. When I signed on with a YouTube vendor a few years ago, on the first call, I said, I'd like to have this channel be something in 5 to 10 years. I was like, we'll look at it then and see if it was worth continuing to do. I was like, but I'm in for a decade. And he stopped me afterwards. He was like, I've literally never had a client say that to me, ever. He's like, they're all like, how can I get leads in the first 90 days from YouTube? And like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if we're making progress, I'm good. I will commit to that. I think that if you can think that way, you will get what you want. And then people will ask you a decade from now, man, how did you have this overnight success and blah, 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 blah. And aren't you like, don't the followers and the fans, like, how does it not get to your head? And you're like, because it was never the goal.
What do you think gets us to 1 million subscribers?
Well, subscribers is an arbitrary number.
Okay, so a million views.
No, you should ask me what helps us make the best videos possible. Okay. That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to, you know, make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for.
The real answer to the quiz of why you're not posting enough is you overvalue other people's opinions over your own happiness. It is really a pandemic.